team that has a superior edge with the better late game AD carry will be able to pull it through.
Yeah, better team fighting AD carry as well, right? It feels like team fights have really dictated the game. Kind of surprising to see that, you know, we get the Aphelios here, but JDG in response just pull out the Jinx. So, as you were talking about, Wukong is a priority too, but two big LPL picks at the moment I feel like really show the strength of JDG.
Yeah, a lot of people leaning back towards that Jinx in recent times to go up against things like the Zeri and especially the Aphelios, wanting to match punch for punch. And now for BLG, it's where they want to go on. Once again, I mean, you could look to go towards that Enchanter support route, but Kindred, something we didn't highlight with the fact that the sides have swapped, that being left open. JDG made the gamble once, they left it open. Shun had a tremendous early game, was able to take over, and BLG just wanting to keep with the duo. Yeah, go exactly with the same picks you had in that game.
I mean, Shun's Kindred was legendary in the first game, but Knight Syndra that's been banned away in the second phase consistently. Lyric now picked early. It's not like something before where it was the Annie. It's Knight Syndra that has won him game 5s on top esports against JDG at the time, against Yagao. He is all too familiar with this Syndra winning series.
A lot of things are going to be different too, because in BLG's win, when they had this composition, they were leaning heavily on that Kennen. Bin was the one who picked up the MVP of that game. It wasn't Shun's Kindred, though we did highlight pretty much everyone performed well in that BLG win, but I'm curious where they're going to look now because, I mean, right, having double marksman, having Galio in the mid lane, they probably would have theoretically liked to have more AP up in that top side, which is why JDG do take away that Gwen.
Gwen, Gragas, okay, top being looked at quite severely here. Bin versus 369 has been Bin favored so far in the series if you're just joining us. That Gwen is something that did pummel against JDG as we even get the ban away of the Fiora just in case. Lyric, maybe it's something like a Cassante angle here for 369.
Yeah, and one thing my mind's leaning towards for the opposite side for BLG, you need to remember. We need to remember who we have. We have Mr. Love Camille himself over there.
Oh,
for anyone wondering, that was his longtime Korean solo QID. Always love the pick, and you do have the Galio if you did want to opt into something like that. But JDG going to be up first. They could just look to take support here and try and save for 369. But I guess if bot lane's the priority, could also look to do that. Scion's still open if they did just want to put 369 on the... Oh, actually, no. It was banned in first rotation. So, a lot of the generic tank picks taken off the table. So, I feel like with that, it is going to have to be pick support here. And it looks like the Leona being the thing we're leaning towards now.
Engage. Okay. But that means 369 for the counter pick. And so far in the series, again, what we got out of a counter pick was something like the Choga. So maybe it's going to be something a bit more direct this time for the game 5. 369's had a rough time of it. I just want to see what he's going up into as well. We get Leona on thinking about Nautilus or Thresh. Either, it's Hook City, baby. And on for a game 5. What's it going to be in this comp? It's a Nautilus coming
I do like this a little bit more considering that they already do have a lot of things to protect the Aphelios. So this is giving them a bit more, reliable engage with that ultimate, also having the passive as well. Lock people down longer, try and get that damage just out. But now it's about what Bin wants to go towards. We highlighted something like a Camille Renekton if they just want a strong blind, because it would be pretty rough to just blind pick that. Or just, I guess, go towards what's been working. Didn't work last time.
Gotta fix the mic. Little bit of issues on my end. Walk me through this as Camille gets picked.
Oh, we did get it. I thought maybe they would opt out of it and wouldn't look for the blind pick, but the fact that they have the Galio, they do just want to go back to Bin's OG signature pick. And now for JDG, they're hovering the Renekton. I would expect this to be locked in because with things like Sion and Cassante banned out, like I feel like 369's pool, even though he's very willing to bring out many different champions, not too much he would confidently bring out into Bin's Camille. So we'll be able to find up in this top side. But yeah, a lot of early aggression on for JDG. Syndra and Renekton, both very strong champions with very early power spikes that they can play around and utilize Kanavi. To where for BLG, again, a lot of peel, a lot of protection going to be down there for the Aphelios. And now with having to worry about like Camille getting onto the back line, Hextech Ultimatum on top of Ruler, Galio following through, there's a lot of threat going to be put on Ruler, who really doesn't have any peel in this composition from JDG.
True, it's a very good point. With all that dive in from round 2 to semi-finals, That's what's on the line as JDG look to maintain their pride and their expectations here as the best team. Either way, it's come down to this, and we're so glad it has. As we enter Summoner's Rift, the sky is falling. Chicken Little would lose his marbles over that, as that beautiful scenery takes us perfectly into Summoner's Rift. As 369,
369.
not the way you want to start. Dredge line forces the flash. Oh, he's already had such a rough series, Lyric.
I love the game plan. I love the game plan from BLG, recognizing that he's had a rough series, recognizing the 369. I mean, your mental's got to be a little bit at least sideways, right? If you're not completely down in the dumps. But now, Flash Burnt, you're going up against Bin, who's signaling he wants to play incredibly aggressive by the fact that he is going for the TP Ignite. So BLG might just look to punish this top side. My question would then be if JDG can find anything in return, either by looking to counter gank, as we can see now, Kanavi starting down towards that bottom half of the map, or if he's going to look to do what he's done consistently, which is just play around his bot lane and try and set Elkin on behind and enable Ruler to be the big carry for their side.
As he's done in some of the games so far before. Ward can split out the start here, though, for Shun. Red buff warded by BLG in the top side, Lyric, so they know that JDG are starting bot. Jungler's going to be on the same side here, transitioning up that very volatile top lane.
And then the early game, we've already highlighted to kind of expect aggression from BLG on that top side. From JDG, we need to see a lot of aggression in mid.
Ooh.
Having the Syndra up against the Galio really is one of the areas you need to at least be able to maintain priority, and then see Knight link up more with Kanavi. We said, JDG, it's not really much about linking up together or like playing around jungle or Kanavi ganking overly much. Shun is the complete opposite story, though, as we see here.
He is indeed. Not going to be spotted out for now. Missing moving into brush, but doesn't put the ward down. Here comes on Dredge line onto Missing. Shun going to make himself known. That mounting Dredge up and available as Missing's flash gets burnt straight away. Advantage here, BLG.
You've already made it so two lanes gonna have to play differently than they would have wanted, right? 369 gonna have to be very conscious without flash. Now Missing gonna do the same. At least being on the Leona, he has the Hex Flash. Potentially still look for engages if he does get brush control, but not gonna be as easy as it was before.
I mean, doesn't this just tell the story of junglers, though? Shun ganks at level 2, while Kanavi then invades, gets blue buff on the other side of the map.
Yeah, just really showing the stark differences that we've had in our junglers so far. You can even see now Knight kind of like leaning up towards that top side of the map. JDG realizing that's where they're strong. Should be able to get the Scuttle Crown up there as well when that one does spawn.
We're getting some good trades down here in the meantime. Missing a mana bar, but still able to clear out the wave. Gonna watch those scuttles, Luke, because as Kindred players know, it's about 50-50ing that mark. It could be in either one, and it's topside. Okay, unlucky for Shun. He is up here, but it's just going to be an easy take for Kanavi.
Yeah, we see now Knight was doing a nice job in that mid lane, forces Yagao back. He's going to recall and come in with a bit of power. Null Magic Mantle in pocket. But our observers are enamored by the trading that's happening in bot side. We highlighted that it's probably going to be the most important lane in terms of deciding this series. Observers do agree.
Of course. Shun going to get the response to Scuttle in the meantime, though. Derek, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the setup here. What happens as the game goes on? You know, we do have 2 scaling ADs. Now's not the time, though, is it? No, of course it's not. Knight going to get through the wave. The Dredge line flashed away from, though. That is the 3rd flash that On has gotten from simply pressing Q.
And that was close, too. I mean, hell, I almost thought that Knight might have flashed into that, but just barely dodging out, making sure it doesn't go down. But JDG, in the meantime, trying to bait and bin.
Oh, he's gonna fall trap, is he? Hookshot, wall shot is up and available. If he uses it aggressively, Bin's gonna die. 369 draws him in. There we go. Hookshot, wall shot now. Is it gonna come through Bin? But he's matching the flash. It's blocked here. Trying to survive. He gets the slow down, gets the heal out.
Oh, Yagao's coming.
Running to his mid laner. Help me, brother. Help me, brother. Gets whacked on the head. Yagao now there. 369 stops the chase. And just like that, Bin is safe for another day.
That is such a tragedy for JDG, investing so much and finally trying to set Bin behind in the series. But Yagao moving over. Knight was actually on a reset, just TP back to lane. Allows him to get out safely. And in the meantime, BLG looks like they should be able to get this dragon uncontested because look where Kanavi is. He's still making his way from base.
I mean, that's huge for Shun especially. First Dragon here to open things up in a Game 5. It just tells another story, doesn't it? That Bin has been heads and tails over 369, and even with jungle intervention, the fact he's able to get out Lyric. I mean, this lane already going pretty well, it seems. And it's been now massively stacked lane. True.
Just, you know,
I mean, he's had a rough time of it.
Bin still having a CS lead as well. Like, sure, some of it's going to be equaled out by this way, but not enough. Have you watched Archer?
That's not the green arrow. No, I have not.
No. Well, then you know what? The reference. How have you not seen Archer? Absolute
I've seen
cinematic
I've seen
gold.
it. I don't think it's funny. It's the animated one, isn't it?
Yeah.
No,
you know the same guy that voices Bob in Bob's Burgers.
Yeah. But dude, I don't find Archer funny at all. Rick and Morty, that's a banger, right? That's a real banger. But Archer to me is just, I don't know. But look, you can hit it up anyway, Lyric.
You know what?
I
gotta say, you guys came up with the comedic genius that was Wilfred. So, you know what? I'll accept it. Though I don't think you've seen Wilfred either, even though it's Australian, which is pretty disappointing. But now that we can't make references, we need to highlight Shun is getting a mark.
He is indeed. Well, mark means success. This time around, it's not going to be as quick as it was in game number 2 or 3, wherever the Kindred came out, but it's going to be quite nice. As On is making the move Lyric. This is nice and early. Hey, you know what time it is? It's Bully 369. Yagao's coming in as well. The mark of threat layers down. The shield of Durant lands. Kill 369. The robots have risen again.
They just keep going for this plan. We knew it was going to come when they locked into Camille with the Galio. The setup is just so easy, and they're able to follow through. So not only has he built the CS advantage, now going to get some plates in topside. And look at JDG, not able to find anything anywhere on the map because BLG pushed out bot, it looks like, moved over to mid, and we're covering that lane and not leaving themselves vulnerable to, like, what could have been a potential dive on bot lane had they stayed there the way pushed in, and, you know, so on and so forth. So good heads-up play by BLG.
2 plates taken as well. I mean, that's the power of Shun early, right? A 10 CS lead. 369 denied these minions in front of him too. Kanavi's getting red in the meantime, Lyric, so at least there's something there. But honestly, it's looking good here for BLG with a small gold lead. Yagao, though, as I say that, might not be looking good here. Missing's converging as well. Scout of the week lands in his place, follows over. Riot Games, hello. Well, Missing's still going to be happy as Kanavi picks up their first kill.
Oh no, but 369, he just doesn't get a break.
He has no flash.
Don't walk down. Don't walk down.
He's thinking about it. He's like, where could they be? Well, they were hiding. Bin is going to catch the wave at the end anyway.
I guess just to bring it back to, you said Rick and Morty. I feel like right now 369 is Jerry energy. We don't need Jerry energy. We need him to be Rick energy. He needs to be insane. He needs to go in, have some confidence, let him a little bit loose. Dominance almost up as well.
That's true. No Jerry energy.
No Jerry. We don't know.
We put Jerry in daycare. That's it. Jerry's going to daycare, man. They don't belong in a match for semi-finals. As Shun's going to restart this one on a ward he was. 369 walked down to pressure. He might be behind Lyric, but he is still a Renekton. We got to remember that even though things are looking good, as why are we... Okay, does the Observer know? Okay, the Observer was just obviously ambitious and thought, hey, maybe... As Ruler hits that one.
I do got to say, at least this time around, we're not seeing a huge gold swing in either way in the first 10 minutes. That's even with all the attention we've seen kind of given the top side by both teams. Because we need to remember, even though BLG 3-man ganking top is what stands out in our minds, Kanavi has tried to impact this lane earlier on. And looks like Missing might do the same now.
Ruler just taking Gromp in the meantime. Our Observer loves Ruler. Just got to show, again, obsessed with the bot matchup. As I will say, he's doing pretty well. Looks like he's going to be up about 4 CS here over the wave, over Elk. So there is advantage there somewhat for JDG, even through mid. Lyric. Dude, that's a 20 CS lead through mid. That, once again, Knight is showboating. Like, he's done really well in this series in terms of the individual lane leads.
Yeah, I mean, even having the first strike, right? So that's even going further in terms of the value he's getting from it. But that's what you need from the Syndra versus Galio matchup. Be able to use that rage advantage, be able to use the fact you can pretty much keep him at arm's length at all times with Scout of the Week and not let anything come through, as Shun is going to be spotted. So we're going to see how JDG react, if they're going to actually play up into this. But no, looks like instead they're just going to pivot down towards the bottom side and get this dragon. And once again, it's going to be on 369 shoulders to try to survive this.
Okay, depth charge is available. The wave is getting taken away, and BLG pull off. But Lyric, as you said, dragon taken. JDG should just have this one in the bag. Considering that BLG, they won't make that dive happen, but they've shown 3 members up in that top side.
Great response by JDG to actually get something this time out of resources being dedicated towards that top lane for BLG. Also want to hit some key item spikes. We had Knight on his last reset actually pick up the Luden, so at a pretty strong point of power for him. Again, we've already been seeing what he's been able to do against Yagao in this mid lane matchup in general. Just him having the mythic advantage is going to be able to go even further of a distance to where for BLG, no mythics just yet, but still Rift Herald in pocket for Shun.
Danger, 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 danger. Elk is in danger. Ruler has the ulti available. Rather, not Ruler, but missing. Expecting something to happen there, but on, I guess, was too close nearby. And crisis averted. At the very least, Lyric. Bot continues to be farming. Mid continues to be a CS lead. And top continues to be bin favored. Should now with the Herald waiting. Gets spotted out by a ward here through mid. And as he takes it away, he starts syncing up with On. Knight just doesn't care, walks up, and feels confident enough to stay in this lane, as aggressive as he is.
And remember, as the game goes on, like you think traditionally, right, to where Jinx is always thought of being a little bit better later on, especially because of the range that you're able to play with against an Aphelios. But BLG having that double marksman, having the scaling in the Kindred, also Bin just gives them such easy access to the back line. I feel like BLG are a little bit fine in terms of it being a little bit slower. They also do have the Galio ult if they ever do want to just try and outright force a play. To where JDG are the ones who I feel a little bit more pressured to look for plays, considering that Renekton being set behind, he's not going to really have a massive impact later on. Still have the stun to try and get on top of Elk, but even Knight going to be very reliant on burst coming through.
Cancel. The Jinx rockets, the intelligent rockets in the LPL. Happens quite a lot. Just to cancel the back there, worth the cooldown, as now the wave could be pushed in. Lose a bit of plating as Shun is his decision, Lyric. Guess what? 369 has got another visitor. Oh,
yeah, it's locked in already.
Ah, the dread, the mounting dread, not even just the ability, the dread! Oh my god, leave Brittany alone!
And now for BLG, it's gonna pick up the plates, they're gonna push down the turret, they're gonna elongate the side lane, give more threat for Bin to abuse 369, or even just create more question marks. Roam into this top side jungle, hover around mid, maybe lock down the Syndra as a squishy champion that Camille can take advantage of. So many things to worry about, but for JDG, it's all about bot.
Okay, they go for a soul flare, doesn't connect, though. Depth charge return. Elk is going to get the root under turret. Oh no, Kanavi! He's going to die down, and Elk stays standing. On picks up the kill. Lyric, top works out. Bot doesn't for JDG. Big advantage as Yagao, you absolute statue to block that one.
Just JDG not able to find what they're looking for. Yagao, I like it, utilizing the ult defensively to make sure a dive doesn't come through, realizing that they can make their aggressive plays on top with the Camille while having the Galio cover for the opposite side of the map when we said, hey, they kind of are fine with the pace that the game has been going at. And now another mark in pocket for Shun. We're going to replay how this goes down topside, but Hextech ultimatum comes out. He's locked in. Where does he Shun putting damage down early on? It's the final of that third hit to get the big damage coming through, and sadly goes forward with the stun. I don't even know if him using the Q and healing there would have kept him alive any longer, but here, no wave. So the other members of JDG can't really walk forward. Missing was locked down, so he couldn't really walk in and tank that turn, and Ruler, not wanting to go in and tank the damage himself, meant that no one can actually follow through on Kanavi diving turret that far.
In Game 5, it's a 2k gold lead now for BLG. Bot surviving that. I mean, it stops the play in its tracks, stops the kill that probably would have gone to Ruler as well. And Lyric, we have to remember that even though Knight has a lead, top side has a bit of a lead too. Bin is already starting to split push out of his mind with Divine Syndra. That's a Gale Force forward from Elk. Going in, full house onto Ruler. Cleanse away, hang on, he's regretting his decision, but both miss. Ruler now on a low health bar as well. 80 carry staring off, I love it. Stretchline on.
Incredibly close, but we see right now Herald going over the side of BLG, so they're the ones picking up an objective, able to create the question marks with the Camille that we talked about, of him like hovering around towards mid lane. Does open up for Knight to have a lot of pressure towards the spot side of the map, and JDG will have first look at Dragon in terms of that they have deep vision in BLG's jungle. With BLG already hovering around mid, they should actually be the team allowed to walk towards River first.
Open up mid lane. Teleport's going to be used. Herald so close to charging. TP, yeah, it will be there in time. It's double, actually, as Bin gets out in the nick. You can see as mid drops down, opens up the map a little bit. Bin just goes up towards top side, and BLG continue to hover around mid. Lyric Gold back to 2,000 in the lead, but Dragon's up. Everyone wants a piece of that pie. And this third Dragon, this start of the Cloud Soul, one of the best in the game, a fitting way to end this series.
Yeah, and JDG really want that. That's why I think they went with the double TP in to not just get free access. Missing, not going to be able to find anything.
It's only onto on. Elk uses a range as well. Lyric, it's a bit of poke damage before the Dragon, and BLG now get to stay towards mid to clear this wave before the fact.
And I think BLG have been a little bit patient in terms of just walking straight into this objective, because look at Elk. No cleanse, no flash. Does still have like the safety that something like a Kindred provides, but he needs to be careful to where JDG do have all their summoners up, but looks like they won't even get a track into contesting in bot side River.
Not pulling the trigger, Kanavi's backing away. Second Dragon over to BLG. And during that process as well, Shun got to say, oh, hi, Mark, towards the Scuttle Crab. Third Mark actually picked up as well. So for Shun, feels pretty good to be one away from getting that big amplification as BLG, again, move closer towards that Cloud Soul. If they're able to win this series, Luke, again, we've talked a lot about JDG being firm favorites that's coming into today. It's changed a lot during the series, but BLG, if they can, Bin is really on fire. If they can change the expectations, who knows where they stop. They go to semifinals, they have 2 spots, or at least 2 series to try and make MSI, to try and make the grand finals. BLG have never been in the grand finals, guys. And 4 of these players, sorry, 3 of these players, wait, no, Bin. Yes, no, he's been in RNG. 3 of these players, Lyric, to correct myself a third time, have never been in an LPL grand finals, let alone taking the title.
Yeah, it's been a long journey for some of these guys being now, especially people like, you know, Elk now being around for a little bit, trying to work his way up. Actually, Elk, Shun on, a lot of these guys coming into prominence around the same time. You know, 2019, 2020, 2021. These 2 years of LPL, I'd say like rebuilding, a lot of legends, you know, kind of backing off. People like Uzi, people like Fearlove, and these guys coming in, following in their footsteps.
Isn't it crazy that this team is better than the team that had Uzi and Crisp? Bin, hookshot, wall shot. Okay, that's ambitious. Ulti, solar flare there. Bin ran in, almost killed Knight. Wins the walker to do that, though. Hang on, they're turning it around. BLG have no business winning this fight, but they've got numbers. BLG have got the numbers advantage. And just like that, Yagao pounces in with a teleport, and everything's all right.
And you just see the freedom they're given by Bin's pressure in top lane. Because a lot of people might be like, wait, but Bin went down. No, but Bin able to push out top lane so far, makes his way down to mid. They get Prio in mid, and then this whole group can just make their way down towards this bot lane, giving them this numbers advantage. So the early pressure they got in top lane, I really feel like it's paying them dividends. And with Jackula, I keep thinking top esports. With Ruler not there, with 369 not there, not able to contend. It'll be out of my mind one day, but we're going to see here Knight making this play in the brush towards bottom side. They're trying to bait Bin in. Bin goes straight into him, but again, the 3 members are here locked down right away. But look at the minimap. Jinx nowhere close. Renekton not able to make it down here, and it just allows for BLG to run them down. Great knockup onto Kanavi to make sure that he goes down. The Syndra had already been taken, and it just lets them push forward and get this bot lane turn.
We'll let you know.
Also, you should watch
get
Archer.
Back in, which is now. Yeah, okay. Apparently, you should watch Archer. You know what?
No, you.
Me? No, I'm not going to watch Archer. I just watched Shadow and Flame, which I think my partner tells me is a teen flick. But it had magical powers in it, and it was cool. It was cool. It's like the 100. She said that's a teenager show, and I said, is it? It's about a bunch of teenagers jumping onto Earth when it's like kind of scuffed. So, I don't know. Apparently, I watch teen flicks. But hey, it's about what I like. I like magical powers. Also, Vikings, absolute banger. If people haven't seen Vikings by now, I'm getting to the last season. Is on, walking into a trap. Never mind. Ward's going to be placed over. JDG went against it because it was the Nautilus, not the AD carry. And Lyric, BLG are grouping up towards this Baron.
You know what? You know what's crazy? A game where a support has a bounty and no one else does. Because on right now,
Wait,
the one sporting that for BLG side. Having his Mythic online, 2-on-1. 2 items also on key carries, right? We've seen, I feel like Bin is a player I'm really looking at for BLG just because he has so many ways to get on the Knight or Ruler, and it's going to be very hard for them to shut that engage down. You always have to follow up with Yagao, and sure, Elk might be the primary damage dealer, but it's about the space that combination is able to set up for Elk to really be able to take over. For JDG, it's going to be about kiting out that initial engage and making sure that Knight and Ruler are able to stay safe with things like the Scatter of the Week. But it's very easy to say and very hard to do.
Knight is a legend on the Syndra, though. If anyone can do it, I believe in him. I mean, CS is great, and even on Ruler side, CS above the clock. So these players are scaling up, Lyric. They're getting to this point where they can section off members and find some of the miracle plays, especially onto Elky, who's hovering around mid-Knight's running into him. Scout of the Week connects as well. Zap doesn't, though. They can't follow up, as you said. Looks hard, especially with Yagao hovering over. Bin's angled, now finding 369. Over the wall goes Kanavi, but this is not good. JDG is sectioned off. Bin still not going to put the ulti down, and Shun's not going to follow up either, so BLG pull away, not willing to pull the trigger themselves. Lyric, it all changes in Game 5. Game 5 is where people become a little bit more scared, a little bit more anxious. It's all for that semi-final. It's such a big deal, especially for BLG, where they're one step away from making their history as an organization. And for a lot of these players as well, moving to one of their first semi-finals.
And it just feels like they're right on the cusp, holding control over this game. Just above a 3K gold lead for their side. And we saw in the last formation, right? You're going to constantly just have to have 369 marking the flanks for Bin and just making sure he isn't able to come through. And I guess potentially just win out the 4v4 on the opposite side of the fight. Like 369 can't contend in the 1v1. He probably will go down if he opts to an elongated skirmish. But really, his only value being the fact that he is a bit of a beefy boy who could stand in front of the Camille and the rest of his team.
True. On a note, bottom left, Shun picking up the dragon. That's sole point. Easy as that. JDG was spending the time getting wards around this Baron pit. While BLG, on top of that, I mean, Shun's just going to be taking the bottom side jungle in its entirety. That was also a mark. I'll let you know once the observers hover over to him, because he's really taken over at this point, Lyric. 50 CS jungle lead. Shun's Kindred getting to that hyperscaling point. And you got to remember, even if Elk dies here, Lyric, there is another major damage source that we have to be aware of in Shun.
Oh, scouted. Okay, nope. Not going to be able to find anything, but you're right. My guess is he's on 5 now. I guess regardless, he wouldn't be on 7, so we should only have, you know, the initial buffs coming through. 75 bonus range going to be there, but we'll see what his exact number is. But like you said, the observers really do like just staying on the 80 carries, knowing, especially as we're gearing towards that 3-item point, that they are going to be the pivotal members in these fights. But like I said before, Knight having stopwatch, I feel like, is very massive, making sure that even if a Camille or someone finds an engage on him, he can try and stay alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sick.
I guess Baron just placed him. You're right. 6 is the mark pickup here for Shun. So still, again, not bad. I mean, this is still a 25-minute game. Like, 6 marks, a solid amount. The range increase you already talked about. And Shun now
get
with
another
2
one.
items.
And he'll get, again, another, like, buff with just 1 more mark coming through.
That's right, every 3 after the 4.
Kanavi.
Another good vision tool is Wolf being put down as Shun sees that. Gives a little bit of amplification towards Yagao up in that top side. And Ben, meanwhile, is just pushing bot. So, Lyric, you look at this, they're enveloping the map. BLG are just consistently now drowning out JDG from their own side of the jungle here with some pretty good vision.
And I feel like it's so tough as JDG because at some point you're going to have to concede that 369 isn't going to be able to hold that side lane. And I feel like just try and overload mid, try and overload the rest of BLG and hope you get a pick in time before the Camille's going to be able to join up. Now that does provide a lot of risk that then if you don't find a pick, Ben's just going to be unloading on a side lane. But there really isn't any other option for JDG.
Well, maybe turn towards the Baron that's being started by BLG at 9k. Okay, drawn back here. And doing the dance. Ben gets to attack turret and JDG getting drawn across the map. This first place team is getting toyed with, Lyric. Like, they are getting played around with, like, I don't know, like a Bob the Builder playset when you're 3 years old. It's just a tool. JDG, they're being mucked around.
I feel like a lot of it coming down to just BLG exploiting topside and creating so much pressure. We can see now Ben still just able to hold 369 here, and BLG trying to be a little bit cheeky with the Baron, but still not wanting to full-on commit. I'm a little bit surprised that they aren't more willing to get something going and, again, use the tools they have to try to find access to the backline, but it seems for now they're still just content trying to get more gold onto their key carries. I think especially getting Elk towards that next item would be quite huge, and their Baron has to be so fast, right? Aphelios plus Kindred, they're going to burn that thing.
You'd be surprised at any Camille damage that comes through as well, if that's ever involved as well. All right, so let's be real. This one's a little bit slower, guys, but BLG, they are chilling. By the way, you know what just popped up on the right-hand side of our screens? That's the Splinters, the new passive of Syndra. I believe the ability power has just come through, from what I could see. Either 100 stacks or we're now at the 15% mark. But something worth noting is that Knight has a little bit more to play with here. And 2 items as well, so it will be quite influential as he's hit level 15, close to 16. Even though JDG are behind 5,000 gold, just remember, in Game 1, Game 4 as well, even get parts of Game 2, there were points where JDG would always find a comeback with people like Knight. Even being this far behind in gold, especially towards the Soul Point, pressures up for BLG as JDG start enveloping in. But Lyric, Shun is trying to find an angle himself as Ben's there too.
I want to highlight, though, that Ruler did finish off his Infinity Edge, so he is sitting on that strong Dragon Power Spike compared to Elk, who only is sitting on BF Sword and the pickaxe for it. So might be a little bit more to play with for JDG in terms of the damage that Ruler is able to dish out. But again, the difference maker will be this Camille.
Wait, Elk went melee, but it's with Severin Crescendo. 369 will find Shun in the meantime, but Ben's angle can annihilate them. JDG, it hangs on this cusp, but Ben is flashed on there to exit ultimatum. The hero's entrance, Galio with a 2-man knockup. They get one. BLG, these underdogs, now firing onto 369. This Croc has been bullied all game long, has just brought it back. All it took was one moment, and JDG found it again, but 369, Dreadbline's brought on in, but he's so tanky, Lyric, they can't kill him. Dreadline, wait, Yagao! Dreadline saves the day, Elk is going to be nuked out. There's Knight to execute coming through as Yagao saves the day. What a close call. It's a Game 5, and we are firing.
I can't believe how all of that went from Elk being the one to start it off to what we just witnessed. JDG going to technically walk out the victors, pick up a mid lane turret off of their efforts, but we still need to pay attention to Dragon. This would be Soul for BLG. I don't know if we have time for a replay, so we're going to see here. Keep your eyes on Elk. Goes in, throws out the moonlight vision, flashes forward, hoping to just burst out Knight and then having to run away from missing. On the opposite side, they are able to get out Shun before he's able to find an impact, but I knew it wasn't time for a replay.
On goes in for a dredge line, it's only onto a clone. As you said, it's Salt Point. Shun has had to burn the Lamb's Respite though. Lyric, Rocket, it's blocked by Yagao, who is MVP of this game right now.
They can't contest.
For BLG, you're right, they can't. Lyric, they're going to Baron, but this time, it ain't deja vu. We ain't been in this place before. JDG would get the Baron when it was third Dragon for BLG. This time, that permanent soul in a Game 5 is going down to Bilibili.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be quite nice for this side. But JDG immediately going to try and rush the spare and look at the minimap. Aphelios and Kindred still are not close.
Here comes Toothpaste running in. Minty clean. Bin jumps in. The all-in. The Wombo's there. It's Kanavi who gets Bin, though, before he can do anything. Yagao with a one-man shield. Durant is big, but now he's front-lining. No one there. Wins the war. Kanavi's just a cone. Helk is free-firing away. Look at Aphelios. 369. Jumps on him, but JDG are winning the fight. Shun now there in the back as Elp drops down. JDG stand true, our first seed, are somehow holding on.
Yeah, JDG also a Baron minion, so now they can really start this push. I don't know if they'd be able to end the game with how low death timers are, but at least should be able to make a significant dent to BLG's base.
Lyric is not getting ults off. Finn is not getting that ult off. The combination that we talked about. BLG maybe firing a little bit early here as Shun tries to defend. He's got a GA. It's a 3-item Kindred trying to buy time. He's kiting away the ignites
they
now,
might be able to do
they're
it.
on the Nexus turret. BLG, they were winning the underdog story, but JDG comes through. Nexus exposed. Our first seed hold on. They'll move to the semi-finals and deny the Cinderella story from Bilibili.
BLG were so close. What an incredible run they've made to get to this point in Game 5 in top 4. They will not be eliminated. They will move on to the lower bracket. And JDG, it was dicey, maybe closer than it should have been in terms of expectations that were presented. But they still managed to pull through. And let's be honest, they managed to pull through on what has been 369's worst day of the split. If they can shore that up, I mean, I really feel like this team is still going to show why they are, again, coming in as that first seed ruler.